So we're back with the Fox News Alert. FBI agents continue to raid the Maryland home of former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton this morning. And now there's FBI activity at Bolton's office.
David Spunt joins us now with more on this breaking news. David?
Hey, guys. So this is his office in Washington, D.C., where he works. He's an attorney as well as the former National Security Advisor and ambassador. So this is a live shot of his office in Washington, D.C., and we're looking right now, per our colleagues from Fox Digital on the scene, a couple of FBI agents loading some stuff into cars and leaving the scene. So clearly not as big of a presence at his Bethesda home, but notable that he was spotted at his office earlier today. We're told, I want to be very clear, that he's not facing any charges at this moment. He is not in custody. He is not under arrest at this moment. So we've reached out to his attorney. We're reaching out to Ambassador Bolton himself to find out exactly what he has to say about all this. But this is at his D.C. office. Now we're back to his home in Bethesda, Maryland, where there is a much larger presence. Neighbors starting to come out. This happened about an hour and a half ago, guys, around 7 o'clock, which is very typical for these raids to happen early in the morning. Jonathan Turley, Professor Turley, said he had a client one time that happened at 3 o'clock in the morning. This was not 3 o'clock in the morning, but still 7 o'clock in the morning. We're told that agents went in, and per to senior government sources, they are looking for classified documents. Now, John Bolton, who, as I mentioned, served as President Trump's former national security advisor in the first administration, was criticized for using some classified material, as Ainsley mentioned earlier, in one of his books. So there was a fight going back several years ago regarding John Bolton potentially having classified material. That's where we are today. We don't know if this is the same potentially classified material, or this is something different, guys.
I don't think it could be a national security situation because he's been out. I mean, he has not had access to anything for the last year and a half of the Trump administration first term. Then there was 4 years when he was out of Biden, and now the president's back. He's not going to give John Bolton information. This has got to be old intel.
It probably is old intel. We don't know what it is, but I will note, though, that his security clearance, though, was just stripped by the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard's office, at the direction of President Trump earlier this year. Doesn't mean that he was getting top secret classified material just because he had a security clearance. A lot of people in Washington that leave government still have security clearances. His was revoked. His personal security detail was revoked. You have to remember, he has been a major target of the Iranian regime after the killing of General Qasem Soleimani. So he's been definitely a target of the Iranian regime. So that's why he argued that his security detail not be taken away. But nevertheless, it still was taken away. But notable, we haven't heard from Ambassador Bolton yet. He's someone that's not shy from cameras at all. He probably will have some sort of statement, whether it's on camera or via his attorney, who we have reached out to today. But it's a great point you make, Brian, that he was not there all the way until the end of the Trump administration by any means. And, you know, we're talking 5-6 years ago. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what they have. But they have to have a very specific list of what they're looking for.
What exactly happened between the president and Ambassador Bolton? I know that they disagreed on foreign policy, but is that the extent of it?
I think that was the extent of it, at least publicly. It's been reported that personally they didn't see eye to eye on things, and Ambassador Bolton has come out and been incredibly critical of President Trump over the past 5 years. I think he was pretty critical of him right after he got out of the White House, not Trump, but Bolton. As soon as Bolton was fired as the National Security Advisor, he came out almost immediately and started doing interviews. So I think he's been on the list of President Trump for a long time, and the two didn't get along. So, but, you know, that's one thing. You know, a federal magistrate judge has to sign off on being able to have a warrant to go in to collect things. So they had to have some probable cause or some reason to go in here other than just, you know, he said things about the president doesn't like.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Sure.
David.
You bet.
More Fox and Friends coming up.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.